So, to follow up on my review of last night's Dark Side of the Ring mid-season premiere, where they talk about the plane ride from hell, the 2002 plane ride from the London, England, after the insurrection pay-per-view back to Hartford, it seems that Impact Wrestling took offense to what Tommy said last night. And a lot of people who have heard about what Impact did has come to Tommy's defense, saying that what Tommy said was out of context, that he didn't mean to make it sound like the way he did because of the way the episode had interlaced it, with what the stewardess was saying at the same time. And what Impact Wrestling did is they suspended Tommy Dreamer indefinitely because of the comments, even though a lot of people feel they were taken out of context. Now, here's the thing. Some people have said that have come to Tommy's defense have also said that maybe he was not aware of what, Rick had done, until maybe the stewardess mentioned it on the show. Now, if he has been now made aware of what Rick did by trying to get the stewardess, who they did interview for this, to touch his you-know-what, then hopefully Tommy will talk to Anthem, he'll talk to Impact, he'll apologize for what he said, and maybe as a way to, get the suspension lifted, he'll come out publicly and say, hey, I apologize for what I said on Dark Side of the Ring. I didn't know about what had really happened, so I apologize for making it sound like I condoned it, which I don't. And just go from there. Basically, make a public apology for the comments he made, not knowing exactly what happened, and go from there. And I believe if he does that, he might be unsuspended, but he might be given a probationary period. Like, hey, you're unsuspended, but we're going to keep an eye on you now. We're going to keep an eye on you, on what you do and what you say, so that, you will completely learn your lesson of not to say anything like that again. Now, as far as any other talent, in the ring or behind the scenes that works for Impact, as far as their future is concerned when it comes to maybe being interviewed for something like Dark Side of the Ring, I think, honestly, Impact won't prevent them from doing it, but they might be more stricter about what they say. Like, they might have a talent meeting and say, look, if we're willing to indefinitely suspend a creative genius and legend who we want in this business, who we want in this company, indefinitely because of comments he said, comments he said on this show, whether they were out of context or not. If we're willing to do this to someone like him, then we suggest that basically, if you go on to a show like this, we suggest you kind of watch what you say. That's all I think they would have to do. They just have to come out and say, look, we don't mind if you do these kind of things, but be careful about what you say, because if we're willing to do this to Tommy and suspend him indefinitely, what do you think we'll do to you, as far as your career with Impact and wrestling, as well as the wrestling business as a whole is concerned? What do you think we'll do with you? I'm not saying they'll say it or they'll put it that way, but the point I'm getting at is I think they'll basically let the talent know that, hey, we're cool with you doing this. Just watch what you say. Watch how you say it. And they might even come out and suggest and say, hey, can we watch the tape first? Can we watch the episode first before you air it? So that if there's anything we feel is out of context, you can try to fix. That might be something they might suggest the talent of Impact to do. Like, hey, if you're going to get an interview for this, ask the guys to let you see the episode, so that way you could say, hey, that doesn't make me look good or doesn't make me sound right, and everything. Can you fix that? And hopefully they will. But yeah, basically, Impact Wrestling, I don't think they'll prevent anybody from doing these kind of interviews anymore. I think they just might be more stricter. Like, they're going to lay down the law and say, yeah, you got to make sure you are careful about what you say, because in today's realm, with all these groups, even something you might say and everything about something that happened 20-something years ago will be taken out of context. That's about it. But yeah, I don't think, Impact Wrestling will prevent them from, doing these kind of things. I don't think Impact Wrestling will prevent their talent from being on the Dark Side of the Ring, because like AEW, their talent, they're basically, the talent that they have is basically independent contractors. So if they decide hey, we're not going to let you do this anymore, because if you do, you're fired, from the company, then that's going to make them feel more like a smaller version of WWE if they do that, because WWE does not let their talent do this kind of stuff unless the talent or the legends, have so much leeway and pull that WWE doesn't want to risk losing them, that they might make an exception here and there. But yeah, to me, I don't think that the talent is. I don't think Impact Wrestling will prevent it. They just might be more stricter about, hey, be careful about what you say and how you word what you're going to say in these kind of interviews. So, yeah, Impact Wrestling suspended Tommy Dreamer, like I said, and I think the aftermath is, they're going to probably, if not already, have a talent meeting, and they're not going to prevent them from doing these interviews. They're just going to be more stricter about, you got to watch what you say, because if we're willing to suspend Tommy, we'll do the same to you, if not, outright fire you for something that you may have not meant to say and taken out of context, but to protect our company and our image, we'll take the action we need to take. Now, with that said, here's another question everybody, after probably watching last night, is going to be asking. How would you prevent something like the plane ride from hell happening? Well, I'll tell you. The way you prevent something like the plane ride from hell happening is real simple. If you're going to find out that your plane is going to be delayed for 7 to 8 hours, then what you do is you check back into the hotel you were in until the time is right for you to go back to the airport, get back on the plane, and go from there. That way, you're not, spending the time on the tarmac. You're not carting out, carts of booze and alcohol and all that. You basically say, look, we're going to have a 7 to 8 hour delay. And if I'm, Vince McMahon, or I'm Jim Ross, because Jim Ross is the one that Vince puts responsibility on. If I was JR, with all due respect to JR, I would have suggested, well, if we're going to have to be this long, we're going to have to wait this long, let's go back to our hotel rooms and just wait till they give us the okay. And, that would be it. That'd be the end of that. You wouldn't have to worry about it. You wouldn't have to worry at all, because one, you have the superstars in the rooms, you might have them at the bar, at the hotel and all that, but you wouldn't have to worry about them, getting sloshed to such an up-tenth extreme degree, is what I'm saying. So to me, I think the best solution that they should have done, and again, I say this with all due respect to Jim Ross, JR, because I know a lot of things were put on him unnecessarily. I would have said, let's go back to the hotel and wait it out and see what happens. That's what I would have done. Because, even though you still could have some superstars that might get a little hungover, a little, buzzed, it wouldn't be as bad as what they got, from, waiting on the tarmac to when they were in the air. I think it would have caused less stress. It would have been, like I said, it would have caused less stress, and it would have been less hectic, if any, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's what I would have done. That's what I would have done, honestly, because that makes it easier, and you don't have to avoid, and you basically avoid having a plane ride from hell, period. But yeah, I just wanted to do this follow-up video on the review, talking about the fact that Impact Wrestling has suspended indefinitely Tommy Dreamer, and how I feel Impact Wrestling, they're not going to stop their talent from doing this, but they'll probably be more stricter about what they say in these interviews and how they word what they say, or else they could face the same thing, if not be outright fired. I don't think Tommy's going to be gone forever. I think he's going to humble himself. He's going to apologize. He'll acknowledge that he didn't really know all the details, and then hopefully Impact will take him back, but I think it'll be on a probationary period. And again, as far as the second part of this video goes, the way I look at it, the way I would have prevented the plane ride from hell from even happening or being the way it was, is once I get word of, hey, we're going to have a 7 to 8 hour, maybe 9 hour delay, I would have checked back into a hotel, that hopefully were near the airport, and just wait until we got the signal to go back and board the plane. So that's what I would have done. With all due respect to JR. But let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on Impact Wrestling suspending Tommy? How do you feel about that? Do you think they're going to meet with the talent and send the message of, hey, we don't mind you doing it, just watch your words? And do you think what I said about preventing the plane ride from hell from happening would have made more sense? Had they done that? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. Like the video. Comment during the live chat in the premiere. Check out the Teespring store. And I am out. And I do apologize if it sounded like I was rambling a little bit. This is what happens when you do things unscripted, if you catch my drift. But let me know what your thoughts are. And I'm out.